Hi, Angelika.
I'm
Hi.
so sorry. I was freaking out. I really didn't know how that really works.
Well, don't worry, don't worry. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you for asking, and thank you
Cool.
for joining in this conversation. It is. It
Well,
is.
man, thank you so much for having me and like for doing this whole series. It's really I joined the first the day before yesterday and yesterday just briefly, and it's really very interesting. So thank you, just to getting us all together. And I saw uh, the whole rooster you got. Man, you got some dope people. So yeah, kudos to you. That's so awesome. It's really really super cool. So
Well,
yay.
yay! Well, for sure. Thank you so much for yeah. This will be very nice series of interviews with many
Yeah,
people from all around, from very different styles of conducting.
yeah.
And I know that you are very known for your free improv series, for your work with free improvisation, playing with a lot of people around the world. And also, I know that you came to Brazil last year to play at the Improv Festival, and you also
Yes,
you did you did offered a workshop on sound painting. Was it?
yes, indeed.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So
yeah.
why want to start to talking a bit about you and your experience with conducted improvisation?
Yeah, I mean, about me, well, I'm a human female born on Earth. Yeah, so I mean, you guys can check it out. So yeah, I'm a saxophone player. I'm a composer, and I do sometimes the sound painting thing actually. So yeah, I don't really perform that like on stage in other contexts than workshops
Ah,
or so. So that's for me. It's primarily a thing where I kind of how to say like I connect with people and which is super cool because I kind of I'm lucky to travel a lot with my music. And so if I have workshops in some parts of the world, wherever it is, I can just take what there is, what people actually have to offer in terms of not only musically on the instruments. Sometimes they just don't bring any instruments, which is really really cool. Um, and sometimes they just have some poems, or they sing or whatever. So I can incorporate this into this performance and actually to really have the people in the part of the world um, contribute to the whole composition, and not me just doing some signs and then going like, yeah, this is the sign for that and this is for the other. So I've been very lucky to have been able to do this in so many different contexts. This is really, man, that's jazz.
ah. That sounds wonderful, and I'm very interested for knowing what did you think about being doing that in Brazil?
Oh yeah, that was man, that was really super cool. That was really really great because the people were like deeply into it. Like all of the attendees from the workshop were deeply into it, and that was some high level actually. And you guys have, which I kind of researched at that point, you have like really a scene with this kind of conducted improvisation, and that was really really great to to have like, I don't even know how many, I think it was like something like 15 people or something, and like all kinds of awesome greatest musicians. And yeah, so we had, I don't remember. I think we had like 3 hours or something. So yeah, we did some digging and diving and researching, and that was really really great. And actually, do you know Maria Portugal?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, because she is now in MERS. So I met her in Sao Paulo there, at the workshop actually, and she's now immersed being the improviser in residence. I was the first one, like 1 gazillion. I don't even know. It was like 1900, whatever. But no, I'm just kidding. And and so so she's there now, and we play together, and so the connection still exists. And yeah, so. But you know, being there was just wonderful, and the workshop was really very, very truly inspiring for me. And also like the festival was really great. Like I heard so much awesome music, and was playing with a bass player, Arthur de Cleu. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Arthur, I'm sorry if you hear. I'm so sorry, dude. Don't kill me, man. So yeah, but Arthur, the awesome double bass player. So we did a duo stint. Yeah, it was. Man, that was really great. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Great. And well, I found very interesting that you said that you only had experiences with conducted improvisations as a teacher, as in workshops, and you didn't. I'm not sure if I got it well, but you didn't do any concerts being a conductor?
Well, just, you know, like the concerts at the workshop, like at the end of the workshop, we did a concert. But me, myself, I was, you know, I'm based in Cologne, right? Which nobody knows. So it's in Germany. It's kind of, you know, Berlin, and then there's like East Berlin, and there's Cologne. But there was actually, when I started out, I was in a band with Frank Kölges. And he did kind of like something between conducting and yelling at people, but it was actually the first time I really played myself as a saxophone player under such circumstances. So he actually was conducting, and he had some gestures, and I'm pretty sure those gestures weren't like, you know, Butch Morris gestures or Walter Thompson's, but he made up his own, and the band was really hilarious. So that was actually my kind of first thing I really experienced, and I was in that band, I think maybe 2 or maybe 3 years, and after that I you know, I quit, and
no problem.
Shouldn't touch my phone when I'm sorry. So and then I did a bunch of other stuff, and at some point I remember I had to do a workshop. I don't know in which country, and somewhere on tour. And then I was thinking about it, because it was really not very, like, nothing was specified. How many people will be there, or are they like, do they want to play, or are they jazz affine or something? And I figured we did some, you know, I was explaining our playing and our compositions, and then I thought, you know, the best thing to explain the spirit of our music is actually through some soundscaping conducting, and also, you know, to kind of go like, it isn't about the scales or compositions or not only about that. It's really about like, why are we doing this? This is like the improvisation for, like, from the heart. You said it very eloquently, to be in the moment, and so that was actually some point in time where I started to do only this. And if people were interested in, like, you know, like nerd shit, like saxophone things, and like, oh, what do I play? You have this 7/4 composition. What do you do there? So then I, of course, do explain that. But I think this is like, with the gestures, you have like an instant connection with the people who are attending the workshop. And I had twice or 3 times, I had people with no instrument whatsoever. So they were singing, we were clapping, singing, laughing, of course, and using like body percussion, and like just, you know, some sheets of paper or something. And for me that was like, this is really great, because I'm like all amped up, like, whoa, what I'm gonna do with this. And then I start, you know, to actually to just talk to the people. Just, so you have a poem on what do you do like normally, and if they go like, I don't know, I'm just gonna do whatever you want me to. So that's really great. Just we have to react immediately, and that's improvised music. You have an input from whatever, whomever, and then you deal with it. You deal with the situation, and you try, you know, to put everything into it, like onto a different level. And this is, yeah. So for me, that's great.
Nice, great insights. Yeah, very nice. So let me ask a question for the geeks then. What kind of gestures and signs do you like to use the most when you are conducting?
Well, I do. I kind of developed my own language a little bit. So one of the but it's based on Walter Thompson's actually. So I do the long note cluster, and of course I do. This is like this because the long note. This is a gesture. I can't. I don't know. Plus people always they kind of go like, what I'm doing now. So I just figured this is the best one. And so that works very well. And then I have the kicks, which is, that's the kick, and that's the number of kicks, 1 or 2 or whatever. And then I do the kicks then like that. And I always do Walter Thompson's extended techniques, because I find the gesture super hilarious. Like, this is a really beautiful gesture, also very funny. And that's I really love to actually research with the people. So, okay, extended technique. If they have instruments, did you do it already? And how can you do it? So what are the possibilities on your specific instrument? And if they don't have it, so we just like fool around. Like, what could you do, like with your body or with your voice, to do the extended techniques thing? So that's one. And then I do the dynamics like that. Because like this thingy it's not really, people way in the back can't really see it. So that's the better one. Plus I'm a person of grand gestures. Just kidding. But no, but that's for me, it's easier. And so this one I use a lot actually. Of course, dynamics. And then the tempo, you know, stretching the tempo or accelerating the tempo. I use this one for grooves, which I sometimes kind of rehearse with people or not. And sometimes we just talk, that's a groove, and you're just gonna do a groove, and it's not necessarily a drum person, could be anybody. And sometimes I do 2 grooves or whatever there is, and I think I reinterpreted that's the reclamation thing, like so sometimes I put that one into a different meaning. I think those are, of course, I do use the half step up and half step down. Whole step up and down, and above that I don't use anything. I just kind of go, I always have a root, like at some point we just say, I don't know, C or A or whatever, that's the root, and then I go with 5th and the 4th, because then from there I can, you know, go with the half and the whole step. So that's, for me, it works just better. But to be honest, I always check out the group and then kind of reinterpret the gestures sometimes, just, you know, to accommodate the abilities and the level, you know. Yeah. So those are the things I use.
Great. Yeah, great thoughts. Yeah, nice. Well, I'm curious about you being a person that has been playing in free improv gigs and also being a conductor. What do you think it is the role of the conductor?
Okay, first I have to clarify something. Well, free improv is just a kind of a, not really a small, but not that huge part of my work playing. So I do a lot of composition stuff, and so free gigs or really free improv, that's not the hugest part, but it's a very important part, just to clarify that one. And so what was the question again? Sorry.
Don't worry. Don't worry. The question is, what do you think is the role of the conductor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I think, or for me, the role of me conducting is to actually to collect, to kind of be super aware what music, what expressions, I don't want to say what abilities, but sometimes also what abilities are in the room, you know, throughout the people. So I always, in the very first like greetings, I always try to check out, you know, and listen very carefully what people like doing, what suits them very well, how they respond to certain situations. So at the very beginning, I just teach or show 3 or 4 gestures and actually listen a lot. So so I think for me, that's the right expression, to collect the music and the artistic expression which is in the room, and then kind of try to be to get the first impulse, maybe, you know, so things just get started, and then kind of go with the flow with the people together. And it depends of if I'm doing this like with you know with like students or actually pupils, like kids or something, that's of course different. So I have to sculpt really more and to shape more than if people are really kind of used to this free improv whatever situation or the gestures. That's a different thing. So but still I'm collecting first. I'm collecting what's on the table really, and then kind of, as I said, and then go with the flow.
Nice. So but based on that, what do you think that could be go wrong on stage when you were improvising with people?
There is no wrong on stage. No, but seriously, I mean I never had that feeling that something goes wrong or I had the feeling that, damn, I kind of wanted kind of shape something into a different direction, but somebody just wasn't into it, and instantly if some person does not, you know, do something which we kind of wanted or the conductor person wanted, then I try to instantly just rewrite my mind, like, you know, just rewire. Okay, so that's a new situation, deal with it. And really, I mean, I really can't think of any situation where I went, man, this is really wrong. This is so for me it's just you know, the persons who, the attendees or the players are just throwing things at me and or at us, and we have to deal with that. So if the only thing I really try to tell people in advance is just please look at each other and at me. So that's the only thing I really require, because if somebody goes like whatever and then just goes off, then that's really difficult. But I can't think of any situation. I mean, of course, people did overplay this solo, like you kind of were, okay, well, I would, like, everybody wants to move on now from the solo, and I had to still doing like the background too, and then, but you know, we also have how to say, we have certain things to just really make sure that a certain action is finished now. So but that's the only thing that I really pay attention to to really make sure you have to watch each other and me. That's I mean, as you know, that's the most important thing. Okay. And then actually what I experience is that people are absolutely also like they really like their Wahrnehmung, which I can't find the English word right now. Their sensitivity, maybe it really broadens, so they are really aware or like of everything what's going on, and that's, I mean, that's the most important thing, right? And everything else, just, you know, go with the flow.
Yeah, great thoughts. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. And well, sometimes I think that this kind of practice is very related to a social practice. Something that, you know, when I say social practice, I mean something that could improve society. It could improve the how people, you know, talk to each other, listen to each other, and relate themselves to each other. Do you agree with that? And what do you think about that?
Sure, I do. Absolutely. Because the kind of this kind of music requires to be open to every impulse which is coming your way, actually. So that what you said, to, you know, to kind of have, I would maybe even say, respect for the other person, what they are just putting on the table in terms of talking or playing or whatever. But also, I very much think it's a very good practice, as you said, maybe that's the right word, to deal with situations we kind of can't really control, right? So as every improvisation is, like, you can go places, and if you're not a solo performer at the point, there is always somebody talking or walking with you. So and this kind of music is very important to actually heighten people's senses to deal with unknown situations, maybe sometimes with scary situations, you know, the situation we are in right now. So, like, because that's our, I mean, that's our music, that's our work. We deal constantly with situations which wait a minute, situations which are unknown for us sometimes, right? So if you really, you know, even if it's not the context of conducted things, like in a trio, you can just go, you know, to Jupiter, and then when the band is just with you, then you have to deal, you know, with so many things, but that it just does matter how actually you're trained to respond to these unknown situations. And so I think that's a very important you know, music and so as a social practice.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, that's great insights. Yeah, nice. And well, I have one last question that I would ask. I would like to ask, and then we could move to open for people who want to ask questions as well.
Okay.
And this one is, have you ever worked with free conducting without signs and without metaphors? I mean, just people interpreting what you are, what your gestures say in a visual way. I mean, because I know some conductors do use signs with metaphors, with meanings, like Walter Thompson does with, he creates the language, the universal language for. And also I know that some other conductors, they do use some free gestures, you know, like to be interpreted in real time, and it doesn't really have a meaning, so people can, you know, each one can interpret by themselves. Have you ever had this kind of experience?
Yeah, of course, surely. I mean, every time actually, because every time I do this, there is some actually things inspire me which are happening, you know, from the musicians. So sometimes I just break into some things. And sometimes people are just super irritated, like, we don't know what you mean, but they go with it actually. So yeah, of course, because sometimes you just respond directly to something you catch from the band, from the ensemble, and then there is no time for you to really, you know, go like, I should do this gesture. You just go, as I said, you just go with the flow, and sometimes they're just kind of totally new things, and it's a little bit like you know, graphic notation, where you kind of invent a sign, and then everybody has to deal with it, except that's in real time what we do. So so yeah, for sure, I do that. I suspect I do that every time.
So one last thing, maybe
Yeah.
you could share a story about one about your creative process, something that happened to you that you wanna share, something that reminds you of a funny moment, or something that you really keep in your mind about this subject.
Oh man, so many. I have so many stories. Which one do I choose? Well,
No?
I can just cram in several. Well, the one funny story is, I was in Russia, and doing the conducting thing with like a huge, like massive ensemble. I think there were like 30 to 40 people, like 6 singers, 2 or 3 accordion players, like all the horns and the rhythm section, and every single one of them was from a different department. So I had classical musicians, and like, of course, the accordion people, they want to just do solo. So that was really great. So I kind of just like, that was the first time I was like, man, this is okay. So why this is so many so much music here, and I have to, you know, I felt almost a little bad to kind of cramp it in, you know, like gestures and things, but actually I managed, because as I said, I kind of tried to find out what people really want to, you know, to show, maybe show off, but also show. And so this performance was like super intense, because there were so many different musical approaches. Like we had a classical accordion solo actually, and then I did some free improv like over that. So that was really, really interesting, and like totally mind blowing. And the other thing I hold very dearly is, we were in Alexandria a couple of years ago, and we had actually 3 days to work with the people, and they were all musicians, and they were almost like Arab pop musicians, and it was the most beautiful thing, because again, I asked them, so what you guys do, like usually, so what's your music, and I incorporated that, their music, into the performance, which was beautiful. That was great. And yeah, and then some funny stories, but as I said, people just, you know, came along and were like, yeah, that's a jazz workshop, that's cool. I was like, yeah, it's with, like, do you have an instrument? Yeah, but I left it at home. I was like, oh, okay. But we did it with as I said, with like, there was some typewriter was in the room, so we used that as a, you know, as a sound. So we just found our instruments and the body. So yeah, but I told you already. So yeah. But don't, I mean, so many. I could, if I
Yeah,
would
please,
keep talking, there are like,
yeah, go on.
so many. At some point, I had to use like this plastic bottles. Like nobody really uses those anymore. But in those days, there were like, so we had kind of sort of instruments, and that was also a super cool performance. I remember. And of course, actually, I think that was the last one I really did in Sao Paulo. And this always will be in my mind, because the people were so sharp. They were like, okay, let's do this. So they were, I almost was like, okay, man, yeah, let's do this. So they were so energetic, and they were like, every single one of those people were absolutely on the highest level of just being super attentive. That was really cool. Yeah. And somewhere else, I don't remember anymore, but maybe it's gonna drop into my mind.
Outstanding. Yeah, thank you a lot for sharing those stories. They're great stories. Well, maybe we can open for questions for whoever is watching.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's see. Can you see the question?
No, I can't.
Okay, so how was the experience in Brazil? Does culture affect the outcome?
Does what affect the outcome?
Culture.
Oh, culture. Oh, yeah. Well, it's culture and your socialization musically or culturally, of course, every time affects the outcome. Of course it does, because I mean, luckily we're different people growing up in different places. I mean, sometimes luckily, and sometimes that's a different topic, but and so it always does, because people they have different stories like inside them. I really mean that. So there is different things which really want to come out. And in Brazil, I really found that our group was super intense, because they were really used to play or to perform, or just to be in a kind of free context. So that was kind of very floaty. So we kind of connected instantly, and then I had such a huge like different levels of different things I could do. So that was really great. That was super amazing. And they just brought, like, I didn't say anything, but like everybody brought like a huge bag of like kind of toys and sound thingies with them. And I was like, whoa, man. Yeah, that's the spirit. So that was super cool. Thank you for the question.
Sounds great. So another question from Salcott. Can you tell us about the difference between being the conductor of a performance and being part of the conducted ensemble?
Okay, thank you. That's my friend Wolfram. He's the director of the Jazz Institute in Germany, which is a great institute. So greetings to you. I think the most important thing is, like, as a part of a ensemble, you don't have the responsibility. Oh, not that much. I mean, you of course listen, and you kind of, you're constantly listen to what is going on, and but you're not how to say, you're not in the position, not always in the position to contribute something. Sometimes you have just to stay quiet and just watch the conductor person. As a conductor, you listen constantly, but also you kind of constantly try, how to describe that, there are several streams of music during such a performance, and you kind of try to be so much in the moment, and so much also with the flow, to kind of try easily to change the streams. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
For you, I hope, Wolfram, I very much hope that does make sense for you too. So that's for me personally. It's an easier thing to be in the ensemble, if it's conducted. But also I'm a person, I mean, I'm a difficult person to conduct, to be very honest, because I remember my friend James Ilkenfritz, a bass player. He actually taught us at Art Omai some of the Walter Thompson's things also, and I always kind of want to break free, and so I have to really like, no, this is not your place. You just do what you're told to do, even if you have, you know, like the gestures also, of course, allow you to kind of be yourself, but that to me, that's a different place I have to go in. So as a conductor, to sum it up, you have to be more aware, and you have to see the absolutely bigger picture, which is from the you know, from the sound to the connection to the divine. So that's a really huge thing you have to oversee. So that's it.
Nice, great answer. I have another question here is, how do you see genre relations within this kind of music that aims to freedom? Genre relations.
General or gender? Sorry.
Genre.
Okay.
Like musical genre.
Well, I would say it's the research and actually the first step to, because you know, we work with like the ensemble. People are allowed to be themselves per se, and also they are in a group. So you know, and it's not an anarchic situation, but kind of everybody has a story to share, maybe. So this self-awareness and actually the being like strong in yourself. I like the English word right now. So being strong in your core and allow whatever it is you want to say to be said, but also respect and cherish actually the whole group. That's the exercise for, you know, for freedom and for respect and people treating each other in the right way. So that's a huge. I mean, I even think those ensembles are the best example for that. You know, it depends on the conductor, I have to say, sometimes, because if people are over conducting and not really trying to kind of let things also happen, then that wouldn't be the case, what I just said. But like in general situation overall, what I also was watching people conducting, that's the case.
I would like to hear a bit more about over conducting.
Oh, well, overconducting is, you know, when you for some reason feel that you always have to give a gesture, that you can't. For me, that's not being really in the moment. When people are just starting out to make some sounds, and you just go like, okay, no, I need more, I need less, I need something else. So you know, just gesturing them away. So that's well, that's sad a little. I mean, because of course it depends on if you have 1 hour or 20 minutes, but still that's the trust. I forgot to put it into the other question. That's also the trust that the others are, you know, capable of maintaining the music, and you have to trust them. I mean, if you have such an ensemble and you're the conductor person, you really, that's the trust is also a very, very important thing. So if you're over conducting, you don't really trust them. You don't really trust that they will develop something. You just have to shut up for, like, I mean, gesturing wise, shut up for maybe just, I don't know, 20 seconds or something. So that's you know, and also if you give like a solo spot to somebody, then let her or him really have it. Like, you don't have to do like backgrounds all the time, you know. You just can, you know, just let them develop something, and trust them that even if they don't maybe they don't have any ideas, so but if you really listening, I mean, no, that was really shitty, not any ideas, but maybe they're not comfortable, or they, I don't know, lack of inspiration, whatever. So, but trust yourself and the person that they're gonna kind of tell you musically, you know, and then you can kind of try to improve the situation. Like, what does the person need, and not being like, oh my God, this is bad, I should just gesture something. So that's over conducting.
100% agree. 100%. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. So next question from Eta Cab. I was trying to ask about gender relations, this kind of music that aims to freedom.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Gender
Okay.
relations in the music and freedom, like can you elaborate, maybe, the person who's asking that?
Yeah, let him elaborate, and we check for another question
Yeah, sorry about
while
that.
he's elaborating.
Okay.
So who is the hardest to conduct? Classical players or free jazz punks?
That's a very good question. Thank you for that. Well, let me think about it for a second. I maybe I really can't tell, because they have like specific difficulties with the one bunch and the other. The free bunch is you have really kind of make clear, listen, dudes and dudettes, we're here, and this is not just a free performance, we're really gonna do this conducting thing. So if you're not cool with that, maybe, you know, that's not the performance or for you, which is totally fine. But like, you know, I mean, if you don't want to be conducted, you then, you know, maybe you shouldn't just be here, which is really totally, again, it's totally fine. I had some of those instances, but then that was really cool to talk about this, and you know, and to involve also the whole group and go like, okay, so but that's the thing we're gonna do. So let me help you to kind of shine in this context, but you have to let me. You know, if you don't let me, then I just, you know, I just can't do anything. And with the classical persons, they just that's really funny, because they kind of play constantly, because they sometimes they think, I mean, I generalize, sorry for every classical person who's pissed right now, but I don't mean everybody, but those people I was working with, they kind of go and think like, wow, improv, man, I'm just gonna play the whole time everything I know. And so that sometimes has to go like, whoa, okay, yeah, that's great, but let me just, you know, try to do some shaping, so like the whole band or the whole group can actually shape the performance. That's a bit tricky, but it also, like, you know, you have to use words for that, but that's okay. I mean, so every group, thank you for the question again, every group has its own tricky parts you have to navigate.
Yeah, great answers again. Okay, so next question is it challenging to be a female conductor? Have you experienced any difficulties?
Yeah, thanks for the question. No, but you know what? The thing is that I maybe you now experience how I am. So I just go into the room, go like, whoa, let's do this. And then everybody who maybe was like, yeah, I don't like females, they just can't they can't think anymore because I'm just, let's go for the music. I really don't care. And also, I don't have any problems to establish the, you know, the thing, the conduct. We are doing the conducting thing. So, you know, there are some gestures and there are, you know, some things. So, and it's really important you listen to and respect each other, which also includes me. So that's kind of pretty easy for me, but just because I'm the way I am. I actually had, genau. I had a conducting thing in, that was in Bahrain, I think. And at the very beginning, oh no, wait, was it a conducting thing? I don't remember anymore, but I remember the vibe was pretty, I felt the vibe being a little awkward, but then again, I just started and then everything just dissolves itself because people are so, they are so busy to kind of, you know, dealing with the energy I just ooze. So they kind of forget everything else. So yeah, for me, that's not an issue, thankfully.
You are indeed very energetic and very fun. Yeah, it's been so nice to talk with you. And I would like to know if there is anyone else who has any questions.
Yeah, what about this gender thing? Does the person, did the person elaborate?
Oh, I think
Freedom
it's yeah. Hey, Cab, can you ask again? Can you elaborate with your question?
Yeah,
Also,
because
I remember I saw a small question up there. Is quarantine inspirational or a drag?
well, I mean, you know, I do the work I'm doing anyways. I had and of course it's a drag, but it's a drag for everybody, like every single one of us. And for some people it's a life-threatening drag actually. And maybe people are watching this, hopefully are like not really life-threatened. So of course it's a drag, but we can deal with that. So but I'm, you know, at the moment I'm practicing. I just finished a composing work and will do the other one. So for me it's kind of okay. It's just, it's, you know, the usual things everybody deals with. But I mean, of course the whole world would better be not dealing with the quarantine situation, right? But well, we have to go through it and hopefully learn some very important and valid lessons. So yeah, I hope the person asked this is well and not sick and dealing with it okay.
Yeah, stay safe.
Okay.
And so the Ada Cab said you kind of answered my question in this last question about to being a female. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. I was very interested in your connection in the asking person's connection between the gender freedom and music. So but maybe what I have to say is the, you know, the perception in which it always sucks if somebody goes like, yeah, you are the female saxophone player. So, but on the other hand, I totally understand it, because sometimes if you're not, you know, if you're not in the minority group, then people just don't understand sometimes, and that's okay if they ask me. So our as a minority whatsoever, we have to explain sometimes some things, and if we just tired of it, we just say, well, I'm not today. But it's, you know, in like as everybody, when I put together a band, or when I of course play or listen to music, those things just don't count. That I don't, you know, I just, and I really hope that hopefully in my lifetime yet, we're gonna, those issues will not be issues anymore. But I suspect if it's not that, it's going to be something else, you know. So we just have to try to give equality really a thought and really work for it, like in every aspect of our lives, in music and and this and that, and not just equality for people we like and are cool with, but you know, but like really try to get the bigger picture. And yeah, so.
Yeah, great answer. Thank you for that. So one last question here.
Okay.
What is your favorite sign or context? Sign or context?
Gesture?
Your favorite gesture? Yeah, or context, maybe.
I very much think my favorite sign is the extended techniques. Yeah, I think that's my favorite, because it opens a whole world of sound. And yeah, I very much think that's my favorite one. I don't really understand the context thing. Can you is there an elaboration, or just like context? What do you mean, like me playing in a context, or?
He completed his question. Is what the sauce makes a good meal for you? When does the fire start? I mean, when do you think? What would you think that would be the secret sauce for having a nice and interesting performance?
Oh, okay, thank you. I maybe I'm hungry, because I was really thinking in like food. Sorry about that. So, but it's a great question. Well, awareness. People I work with, and it doesn't matter if I conduct them or if I'm playing with them, really have to be in the moment and aware and just listening. That's the most important thing. That's the glue, or the sauce, or yeah. And if and you know, sometimes there are situations where maybe somebody is off, which is okay, you know, but like please try to get into the music, and you know, as much as you can. That's the most important thing for me, like ever, for like in maybe even in life, but like, because you know, when everybody it's also like an issue of training, you know, if you start out and then you're kind of preoccupied with all the things like whatever, and but if you reach a certain certainty in your, you know, in your being, in your instrumental being also, then that's the only thing I really demand even. So, but luckily I always worked with people who really do this. That's of course why I work with them, because you know, you can just, I had so many sessions where you know, we just started, and then after an hour we just stopped, and that, you know, and you go like, what just happened? And there was nothing like, maybe we should just do like break or something, you want a coffee? And there was like, we just went for it. And this I should add, of course, awareness and being in the moment, but also like this energy that you really, you're playing or performing for your life. That's kind of important for me. Because then I really think that's the in such, when you create such situations or people, then there is a connection to something bigger, as I said, to something divine even, and yeah. Okay. I'm repeating myself now, but that's the thing.
No, Angelica, thank you so much. You have great thoughts. Thank you very much for participating in this talk.
Well,
I think
thank
we should,
you for having me.
we can end for now, but I hope we can meet each other in person sometime. And I wish you all the best for you.
Yes, you too.
Oh, say hello to Maria. She just
yes,
came in.
Yeah.
She just came into the
Maria.
yeah.
Really? Well, you are pretty late, girl. What the F? Man,
all right.
it started like 1 hour ago. I don't even know what. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me, and keep up with your series. It's really a great idea, especially in such days, you know. So, and everybody who's watching and listening, be well, please be well, and keep up the spirit, keep up the music, and yeah, and I very much hope you're gonna meet in person soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for everyone who is watching as well. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.